Hi, we're going to use a beautiful bracelet today, and this is called Sophisticated Lady, and that's exactly what it is. It's so elegant, so sophisticated, and you notice that I've left it on the packaging card itself. Just helps stabilize that when we're actually doing the construction. So keep that in mind as just a tip as we work through that there's no reason that it has to be off or you have to stretch it any other way. I like to work with my bracelets fairly flat, and I know some people use like some kind of round device, but the reason that I like to work it flat is because when it actually lays on the young lady's arm, it lays, and I want it to lay flat, and I want the points to touch her skin, so that way it doesn't be up in the air that you're looking underneath it, or it doesn't rock back and forth. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this fairly flat here, starting off putting a little bit of liquid floral adhesive onto the design disc, as you see here, and I've removed the stems or the strings from the tie-on, because I have no reason to use those in my design. So I'm going to put that there and add a little bit on my cardboard. And I'm going to start with a little bit of foliage as a base. Nothing heavy, because the bracelet itself is so delicate that I don't want to overwhelm it with heavy, chunky material. So my components are being considered by the use of the bracelet and the size of the bracelet. So kind of keep that in mind if you're using a heavier fixed bracelet, something whiter or something with a little bit more visual weight. Yeah, you can go ahead and add some interesting other larger materials. But for me right now, what I'm doing is just sort of defining the space. And I like the crinkle pittosporum, the little miniature pittosporum, because it's delicate, and I like the coloration on it as well. So here are my components. I'm going to use a few alstroemeria. I'm going to roll that into the glue. Now keep in mind how the young person, the lady, the client, is going to actually wear this, so it's going to be longer than it is wider. I'm almost, as you can tell, overlapping those or laying those side by side so that way they don't protrude so far out. Now my sweetheart roses, my spray roses, I've removed the sepals, the little green part that comes on the rose. I've taken this part off, just pulled it off with my fingers. And the reason for that is I don't want those to grab the glue and be able to move around. I want a good secure fit onto the calyx, the green part of the spray rose. Add those in. Now I've got just a few petals that I want to place in with my alstroemeria. I don't want a whole blossom, but I do want the color. So I am going to just take those off of the stem and kind of break that up just a little bit, that whole field up white. So it has just a little bit of pink in there. Gives it some added dimension. There we go. And then to pop it, to really make it sing visually, I'm going to add some purple status to that. And status is one of those go-tos for me that just adds so much impact of color and texture change. And I like the fact that I can add it in fairly early in the process and do these in advance and not have to worry about something being so delicate that it may not last. The status is a good flower for that. Adds contrast, adds color. Break it apart in little bitty pieces if you want, depending on how much you need. And then to make our corsage come to life and really sing, we're going to add the quintets. And the quintet are the rhinestones, as you see here. I've cut off the part of the wire and just bundled those up so it makes a knot at the end of the quintet. This is what grabs the glue. I can nestle that down in and just let that lay right over the top of my flowers. And depending on the look that you want to create, quintets can be tucked deep into the composition, or in my case, I kind of want them to rise above and top dress. There we go, and I have one more. Again, a delicate corsage. It's exactly what we're doing for that sophisticated lady. Now, at any point, you can take that off the packaging, or you can actually send it and bag it and box it accordingly and leave it in place, but looks fantastic. All done with Sophisticated Lady in Quintet.